upload the Wyoming part 2 shed trip, but all of it got deleted on my camera somehow. But I'll just do this video about all the stuff I found this year and some last year that are my keepers, because I sold pretty much every horn to a guy named Great Basin Outler Buyer. That's his Instagram, so go check him out at Great Basin Outler Buyer. His name's Jared. He's a cool guy. Great prices too. That's why I sold to him. But we'll start off with this set. Stud set my dad found. I didn't want to sell this because he gave it to me, so that's pretty cool. But this is a Wyoming buck, right around the 180, maybe 185 inch. So that's a stud. Sweet buck though. I love those bladed eye guards. That's why I love this buck. It's awesome. But there's that set. And then here's a sweet brown 5-point I found probably about a month ago. Yeah, about a month ago. But he's sweet. I watched this buck. He has a little broken off cheater right there. Tiny little base though. He's just dinky. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I found him 2 years in a row. Like last year I think I found one of his sheds, but I couldn't really tell, and I sold it, so it's nearly impossible to even tell anyways. But he's cool. Straight 5-point. Just a little buck. He's gonna be big though. That's why I kept him. That's why I kept him too, is because maybe next year he's gonna be a giant, and hopefully I'll find his sheds next year if he comes back. There's that one. And then there's this big old 2-point. I only kept that because it's like not even a pound, and it's a hard white. It looks brown though. It's a hard white, so there's no sense to sell something pretty solid. But big old fork on that sucker. Stud buck too. But this is my biggest 2-point to date. We'll go with this one. This is my coolest set of the year probably. Sweet little cheater. And I know I know there's been 2 sets picked off of this buck. Me and my buddy Tegan found the first set. That was 2016, so 2 years ago. Last year, my brother and his friend, I'm not 100% sure, but I think he picked up the same one. He was a 3x4 frame with 1 cheater last year, but I've also watched this buck, which is pretty cool. Look at all this junk. I love freaky bucks like this, just big cheaters, freaking mass. That's probably like a 170, maybe 180 buck. It's cool though. And there's this set. My friend Tegan's brother picked up this one, and he gave it to me, so that's pretty cool. But then there's this side. We called him the whitetail buck because, yeah, you can already tell. He looks just like a whitetail. He's sweet. This is the first set picked off of him that I know of, I'm pretty sure, but I love that side, the side that I found. Found it during the bow hunt, right in the spot that we always go shed hunting, and this one was found during the bow hunt too, which is awesome. Sweet buck though. Start a little cheater. I didn't see him this year, but I have video of this buck too. I have videos pretty much of all these sheds rather than the Wyoming sheds. Okay, let's go to the giant 3-points. It's a big old Wyoming 3-point I found last year. Sweet buck. Freaking big old back end on it. Pretty much my whole forearm. Awesome buck though. And the crappy thing about this, I found his year before. It was a 4-point, like identical to this, except a little fourth like that. It was a 4-point, except this side. And I sold it because I didn't think I was going to match him up or anything. But then that was 2016 season when I found that 4-point side. And then last year I found this 3-point side. It's kind of a cool story. I was with my uncle just glassing using the new Vortex spotting scope that I got. I was glassing with the scope, and then I glassed one of them up. It was a pretty cool hard white 3-point. Walked at least 2 yards from this going up to it. Did a big loop around this big draw canyon thing that I glassed the one up in, and then walked down, and then sitting just like this. I saw it from this angle, so I saw it like this. And then I was just walking up. I was like, oh, that's a nice horn. And then I pick it up, and I was like, holy crap. than I thought. But this was 20 yards off the road. Sagebrush, easier than crap to see from the road. We just didn't see it, but it's a cool buck. And then this year, on the opening week, I found this one. It's a hard white, but as you can tell, I thought it was the same buck, but this is totally different area. This one was like 20 miles from there. This was so cool though. I love big old 3 points. Look how boxy this thing's been. Has no mass. Like, look at this. It has probably like maybe a quarter mass, but big tine length. Big long sucker too, which is awesome. Big boxy sucker too. I wish I could have matched him up, but dude tracks everywhere. This is last year's shed. It's Grappler. Tegan matched him up. I think it was this year. Yeah, it was this year. I'm thinking about just giving it to him, but I don't know. But cool 6 point, I think. Yeah, 6 point. Would have been a 7 if he didn't break that little inline thing right there, but he's a cool buck too. Alright, this is from this year from Wyoming. Cool little 5 point. Big old base on it, like I can't even fit my fingers around it at all. Big sucker. Cool little dinky inline, but big old mass. Just a cool old buck. I bet he was an old tall buck. That's about all he had. Alright, let's go to this one. I'll show it to you right now. This buck right here is this buck. If you can see it, hopefully you can, but is that buck I found last year, and then I found that hard white last year. And I know who has the other side to this, but I'm gonna try to talk him into giving it to me. I don't know if he will though. But that's cool. Let's see if I can put this back up. But yeah, that's cool. Cool buck, big old mass. This year's the big side. His other side's identical, except he has a split and then a broken inline right there. It would have came right there. And then his beam curls down. It's so cool though. That's a stud buck. He's probably 190, maybe 180. But and then this is a cool story. It was when I was trying to match up Grappler. This buck, I was trying to match him up. Did a lot of circles for about a week. Yeah, about a week. Yeah, and then I was doing circles just like this and going like a mile apart, doing little circles everywhere. Walked right past his other side, didn't know about it until this year when Tegan found it, but found this stud buck. I used to have pictures of him, but I deleted them. Has a little cheater. Just like the 3 point. Look at this, maybe he'll look like a set. Kinda does. No, I'm just kidding. Sweet buck, that's Wyoming. This is here in Utah. Cool buck though. And then, yeah, we'll just do this set. I'll do this one first, but I found this back in October last year. Awesome. Coolest eye guards I've ever seen on a deer, on a mule deer anyways. Big palmation right there. Wanted to split like a little fifth. If you can see that right there. Kind of wanted to split, but didn't. Then earlier this year, a guy who I got permission for his land, where pretty much I found this, he picked up this side when he was going to look for cows. That was back in January, I think. All he saw, he said, was just this. It was just like that, literally. There was snow just like right there, and that's all he saw, was just barely any. But I have video of this buck. I'll see if I can show it to you, but sweet, awesome, massive buck. He didn't come back this year, which kind of sucks. Awesome boxy sucker though. He's probably right around 180, maybe 170. I don't know. I haven't scored really any of these. Then we'll go to this set. He's just a little buck, but I was gonna sell him, but I was like, if he's this good already and he's probably only 3 years old, he'll be a stud in the next few years. So that's why I kept a lot of these. He's a little inline 5 with a cheater. and then just a straight 4. And I saw this side first. It was tines up just like that. That's how I saw it from your angle looking over the. I thought it was a 6x4 that I've been watching. He's sweet. And then I saw this side just like this. They're stuck just like that. Cool mass. 6x4 set still up there somewhere. Hoping to find him, but ain't any luck yet. And then last but not least, this freaking thing. My biggest horn to date. With his other side, this is 94 inches as a typical, and then 95 with barely maybe an inch of a cheater, but that's 94 inches typical, and then 95 with barely a cheater. I could care less about that cheater, but if his other side matched, he'd be he'd be 200 and, what is that? With a 20-inch inside spread, he'd be about 210 as a typical, or 200. Somewhere around 200 and 210, so he's a 200-inch buck. Easy all day. Awesome base on him, though. Looks like he was shedding, but he's like a 4-pound deer horn as a 2-year-old horn. Right there, he just snapped off because he didn't feel like... No, I'm just kidding. I don't think they can do that, but he just snapped off because it's so heavy. But that's a stud. I'll put a 185 buck against it. Can't really tell, but yeah, look at that. There you go, right? Can't really tell. You need to put this in your hands to be able to tell how big it is. That's freaking awesome, though. About crap myself when I found this thing. Is in some crap that we were going for elk shed mostly. Tegan found an elk shed, actually, a little raghorn. I found a few deer. He found a cool inline 5-point. It was just like this, except a little inline. Like right there. Awesome buck, though. Dark pines. Place where you could just see big elk being, not deer. Well, what do you know? This is the first horn of the day. We hiked about, probably about 7 miles in, and then zigzagging for the other side of this. Kept picking up elk horns, a little deer, a lot of other stuff, but this is the angle that I like seeing him. Imagine that during the bow hunt. I'd crap myself. So, yeah, that's about it. Actually, I'll try and get this buck down that I had mounted. Cool, massive sucker. That's how he sat. He sat all like a weird, oval shaped weird. Sweet buck though. He was right around 180, 176 with like a 5-inch deduction. So awesome buck though. Looks like he's a little loose. Yeah, I need to. Where's that? I need to screw him in tighter. But oh, this thing's heavy. But the way I can tell is with these rotted out eye guards that were. Gosh dang, this thing's freaking heavy. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Looks like a big cheater actually. Big 2-point frame with a big old freaking 10-inch cheater. That's pretty cool though. So yeah, that's awesome. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and go follow me on Instagram at Big Time Outfitters. Have a great night. See you next time.